How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Thank you so much.
Nice to
Uh,
meet you in person.
yes, and actually hear your voice.
I know.
For me, it's always like, oh, you actually sound like a human now because I
Yeah,
can
you're a
hear you.
person.
So thank you so much for doing this with me. I really appreciate it. And thank you
Yeah.
for also letting me bump into your project and just,
Yeah.
hey, hi, I'm here. I want to
Yeah.
participate too. Let's
No,
be
that's
friends.
awesome. I was excited. I was excited that you were so excited about it.
Well, it was such a good idea. So for how we will structure the interview, we're going to be discussing a little bit about you as a dyer because you're brand new on this scene. I
Mhm.
don't know if you've reached your 1 year anniversary yet.
I've reached my 1 year anniversary of doing it on my own, but not of my first collection officially releasing it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we're going to be talking a little bit about you as a dyer, what you like and stuff like that, and then we will be discussing the Shrek thing, which is
Sounds
why we're
good.
here because it's
Yeah.
super fun. So would you like to talk to us a little bit about how you started dyeing and what brought you to try it out?
Yeah. So it was when I started learning how to knit, which was in 2020 with the pandemic, as I think a lot of people did. I have crocheted on and off for years, like baby blankets and stuff. But I'd never tried, well, I had tried knitting, but didn't work. So I decided to try again. And up until that point, it's like I only knew about Michael's and Walmart yarn. Like that's just what there was. But then I was online a lot more and I realized that the world of hand dyed yarn existed. And I was like, wow, this is gorgeous. What? How long has this been here? And I didn't know about it. So I started looking. And of course, like the main things that came up were a lot of big US dyers, which we both live in Canada. So, with the exchange rate and shipping and then import fees, I placed my first order from Hugh Loco, which was the first dyer that I saw, and she makes beautiful yarn.
Absolutely.
And it got to my door. I had already paid shipping and the exchange rate, and then it came with an import fee on top of it. And I was like, oh, I was like doing the math in my head. I'm like, okay, this is expensive. This is maybe not something that I can have. So I let it go. And then I started seeing like tutorials on YouTube of being able to do it yourself. I started with food coloring,
Yeah. You
and I was
probably
like,
watch Rebecca from Chemnitz a lot,
yes,
like I did
yeah,
as well.
yeah, exactly. And I was
Hmm.
like, oh, maybe this is something I can do myself. Like, that'd be cool. I'm always kind of one to jump in head first into things without any thought of what could be. So I think looking back, I realized that buying hand dyed yarn is less expensive than buying all of the equipment you need to dye it yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
But I mean, I started out small and I started doing it. And then I have a very supportive husband who was fine with me taking over the house with yet another craft. And I was like, I bought it little by little. So the cost um, didn't seem like a cost in my mind because it's like $20 here, $20 there.
It's an investment. It's not the
Yeah,
same thing.
exactly,
It's an
exactly.
expense that you can claim at some point, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, it's a write off. And he's like, oh, okay. So
Which
yeah,
is
then I just
true.
started experimenting and doing it myself.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah.
And is there a specific yarn base that you prefer dyeing with?
So I started out with superwash
Of course.
because like just the way that it takes dye is beautiful.
Mhm.
But as I've started knitting more garments, I've realized that I prefer knitting with non-superwash yarn. So I've started experimenting and trying to find more non-superwash bases to try out, which is a completely different experience from superwash yarn. Like
Day and night.
there's no crossover at all. But it's been fun. It's been fun to experiment with.
Well,
And
just
I
the
definitely felted my
fastness,
first few I felted my first few experiments,
which is okay.
which
It
happens.
happens. It's a
It's a
write-off.
learning
You're
process.
okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, and just like
Yeah.
how quickly the dye can strike on superwash versus non-superwash is it just changed your whole experience, especially if like you have a lot of orders that you need to fulfill. Like if you have superwash, you can do, I would say, almost twice as fast as
Yeah.
non-superwash. So there's also that
Yeah.
that you need to keep in mind, and you need a lot of water as well with the non-superwash.
Yep. Yep.
So much water. It's so
Yeah.
cold. I don't know if your tap water is as cold as here it is right now. With like, I was
It
washing some
was
yarn this
minus
morning.
20
Ugh.
here yesterday.
So we went
So,
from minus 30. We are in Celsius for the American viewers. We went from minus 30 to minus 2 in the span of 24 hours. And
yeah. Yeah.
I just can't do it anymore.
No.
And would
Yeah.
you
It's
like to
like when it
describe
stays
your,
cold.
oh, sorry,
Oh,
go ahead.
sorry.
No, no, finish your
When
thought.
it stays cold, it's fine. But then when
Yes.
it like it comes up to melting and then it freezes again and then everything is ice and then covered in snow, it's
Mhm. Oh, I hate that. The
no,
ice,
it's
I
awful.
can't stand it. Like snow, no problem. Ice, I hate it.
And the slush. No,
Yes.
I'll stay home, thank you.
Right. Can you talk a little bit about your dye style so far?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's my style is experimentation, basically, because like you mentioned before, I've been doing this for less than a year. So, I mean, there's so many different styles out there and techniques that yeah, I like trying new things.
And you can keep trying as long as you want.
Yeah, it's
I'm in the early third years, and I'm still experimenting and finding things that I like.
yeah,
And you will also notice that like for certain colors that you want to create, you need one specific style, but
yeah.
it's not necessarily the entire style of the collection you're going to be putting out. So there's
Hmm.
also that. So it's all
Yeah,
fun. So
yeah.
experiment,
Yeah, like even the colors for Shrek, like two of them are very similar styles, and then the other ones are completely different.
which is fine. Like
Yeah,
you need to find your voice, and if your
yeah.
voice is multiples, that's okay.
Yes. I contain multitudes.
Exactly. We're not just like one-sided dice. So,
Yeah.
and can you tell us a little bit about your first collection, First Bloom?
Yeah. Sorry, I think can you hear me still?
I can hear you, but the sound is a little bit different.
Yeah, I think my AirPods disconnected.
But I can still hear you.
You can still hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Well, we'll just do it this way then.
Yes,
That's fine.
your AirPod definitely did
Yeah.
disconnect.
Anyway, so my first collection was First Blooms, and I was inspired. I have pretty severe anxiety. And so some of the coping mechanisms that I've come up with are, looking for things that bring me joy and kind of having something to look forward to bring me joy and kind of bring me out of the downward spiral. And so, as many people know, February, March can be pretty bleak and like the sun isn't shining. And so, one of the things that I always try to look forward to are the first blooms that come up in the spring. I have a window that is just in my office where my computer is, and there's like a ton of flowers that come up. There's pretty much all of the flowers that were in my collection are the ones that come up. And so I was thinking like, oh man, I can't wait for those. And I had been experimenting with dyeing yarn already. So I was like, oh, like I wonder what that would look like on yarn. And then maybe I could knit with that yarn. And it's like bringing them to my life even sooner than having to wait for them to pop up on their own. So
Lovely. I like that. It's important to find coping mechanism because you cannot trust March, and here where I live, you can't even trust April. So,
no, yeah. Every year is different, right? It's like
yes,
you never really know.
you never know.
Yeah.
Sometimes March will be a beautiful spring month, and sometimes April will be a bitch of a winter.
Yes, exactly.
So you can't trust it.
No.
So now let's talk about Shrek.
Yes.
Because I'm very excited. Like when you were talking about, so for the people in that will be watching this, I know Madison from online. I've never met her in person, which is very funny because that's where all my friends are
Yeah.
in the computer.
Yeah.
So we were on different. I think we are on a one or two Discord servers.
At least
Uh,
one.
just
Yeah.
one maybe. Anyways, and she was talking in the group chat about wanting to do a Shrek collection, and the more she was talking about it, the more inspired I felt by her. So I was like, hmm, maybe I should just like poke the bear and see if I could join on it. So, and very happily you said yes, and I was very, hi Zoe, I was very, very happy about that because it's like, oh, if I had two colors in mind, and I was very happy that you were willing to let me jump into your boat for that one. So, how, like, I've read a little bit how you came up with the idea, but talk to us about it.
It literally came to me in a dream. I it's one of those things. I just had my second child, and it's one of those side effects that no one tells you about pregnancy is the vivid dreams you have. Like I never dreamt like that before, and I still have them. Like it stuck with me. I have these crazy dreams and I can remember them perfectly. And I had this dream that I did a yarn collection based off of Shrek. Like I'm like, how did my brain like what was it trying to process that it came up with that idea? So I woke up and like me and my husband laughed about it over a cup of coffee. And then I started thinking about it more and more. And then like some of the quotes, like Shrek is one of my favorite comfort movies. It's just such a great movie. So all of these
Socorro.
quotes started coming to me and I'm like, I feel like I feel like I could do this. Like it seems so silly, but like let's put some feelers out. So I posted on one of the discords and so many people were like, that's amazing. Like we love Shrek. We just watched Shrek. And so many people that I talked to about it, they were like, "Oh yeah, I just watched Shrek." I'm like, "Okay." So clearly it's a comfort movie for a lot of people. So let's try to do some colors. And the first 3 that I tried came out like exactly like how my brain pictured them. So I'm like, okay, this is
Isn't
a
it
sign.
fantastic when it
I need to do
happens?
this because that never happens.
It never happens. Three in a row? No.
3 in a row?
One? Yes, I believe you. Two? Pretty good.
Yeah,
Three? Buy a
3.
lotto ticket.
Yeah.
So, no, that's fantastic. I really like that. And can you also talk to us a little bit about how you develop your colors? Because like I know that there's a lot of us that has like either walls of yarns already dyed, and then you can pull from those to see color palette. I do mood boards most of the time and like things like that. Can you talk a little bit about it?
Yeah. So I like when I first bought my collection of acid dyes, I did like trial mini skeins of all the
Yeah.
different colors. So I have little swatches because I have like the official swatch that came from the dye company,
Oh,
but like you can buy like the little it's like just a little bit of yarn for each color, right?
oh,
But
nice.
I find that when I started using them, it
It's
wasn't
different.
quite the same as what they used. So I have theirs and I have my own to kind of balance out what to expect.
Hmm.
And then I kind of just pick and choose which ones I think match the vision. So for Shrek, I really wanted to do like based on the main characters. So I looked at them, I watched the movie like 3 times. And I tried to
It's
pull like
research.
different shots. What's that?
It's research.
Yeah, exactly. My
You
husband
did
was a little
research for
annoyed,
this.
but it's fine. My son kept coming up. I was watching it on my computer like over and over again, and my son is 2, and he kept coming over and he said, "Mama show?" I'm like, "Yeah, Mama show. This is work. Mama working." So that was
Oh,
fun.
I love kids.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and then based off of that, I kind of pulled the dyes that I thought matched, and then I just kind of went for it. And 3 of them worked out great. One of them I did not change at all. One of like a couple of them they worked out very, very close, and I did do a little bit of tweaks.
Do you mind, do you have the skeins with you in
Yeah,
your office? Do you mind showing us which one was the one, the yes from the get-go?
this one.
Dragoness?
Yeah. Of
So cool.
course you're a girl dragon.
And
Yeah.
I have the
Yes.
brushed Siri with me thing.
Yeah,
It's very soft.
it is.
Yeah. I no, it's not Suri, it's alpaca. Sorry,
Yeah,
my bad.
brushed
Oops.
alpaca. Yeah. Well, I think Surrey is a type of alpaca, but I don't think that
Yeah.
it's
Suri
technically.
is like it's I think it's a period of the year that they're collecting it or something like that. I don't know. Because it's like the super fu fuzzy or maybe it's a portion of the it is alpaca, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I need to do research on
Yeah.
alpacas, but I
I
want
feel like I should know
alpacas.
more about these fibers, but that's okay. We'll get there.
I
We're
know.
always learning. That's the nice thing about this,
Yes,
right?
exactly. And like that's something that I'm trying to do this year with my channel is have a little bit more learning stuff here and there.
Yeah.
So it's just a little bit more pressure on me because I want to do things and I miss actually going to university. So it's probably that
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
And which color was almost a yes at first, but you tweaked a little bit.
This one, Shrek. So the Get Out of My Swamp is what it's called. I tried, so this is a combination of two different colors, one of them being green. And
Mhm.
the first time I think it was like Kelly green and it was just too bright.
Right.
You know,
You
I'm
need it
kind of
to be
going for
muddier.
the grumpy, and it needed to be a little
Yeah.
darker to be grumpy
Yeah.
enough.
It was too happy and not grumpy enough.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
There's colors like that. Like green Kelly is fantastic color, but yes, it is very vibrant. So if you're not
Yes.
going for vibrancy,
I wouldn't call Shrek vibrant, you know?
no, he's
No.
muddy.
He's
He likes
muddy.
his
Yeah.
mud. He likes his swamp. He's
Yeah.
swampy. So yeah.
Yeah.
And which color were a no from the first try, and you're just like, ah,
Donkey.
really?
Donkey gave
Grays are
me
hard. Okay.
so much trouble because at first, like black dye, I mean, to make black, you basically use every color of the rainbow. So unless you have a pure black, you're getting all of these colors. So
Yeah,
at first it turned out blue and purple, and I'm like, that's not.
that's
So I
not
had to get a
donkey.
different dye,
Yep.
which was fun, a pure black. And then even then, it's like I was tried speckles, I tried more variegated, and I'm like, this isn't donkey. So
No, it
this
is
is
not.
probably trial number 5. And
Oh
I
yeah.
finally am like, okay, yeah, this is what I
This
want
is
it to be.
it is a very beautiful gray. I really like it. And like grays are very difficult to get right
Mhm.
because of all the undertones that you can get. Like I have a
Mhm.
gray that I really love, but it is blue. Like when I
Yeah,
look at it, it is blue. I have one that is brown, like but it
yeah,
is like having a true gray.
yeah,
So this is something that I do recommend for dyers is if you can find one gray remixed that you like, go for it because it is very, very difficult to get right.
yeah,
Because there's so many options of undertone and
yeah,
it's driving me crazy. But at least like once you know that, it's just a little easier to work with if you're going for more blue undertone or like warm
yeah.
color. And it's just like, oh, so
And
hard.
then when I tried it, well, I tried to add a warmth because the first one it came out so cool that I'm like, okay, I got to add a little bit of warmth. But then it came
Hmm.
out purple because blue and red make purple. I'm like,
Yep.
okay, well, donkey's not purple either. So how do I do this?
It's hard. It is
Yeah,
very difficult. Grays,
yeah.
I don't know why gray is so difficult. Like
Mhm.
you can use the same dye and you can have like 10 to 15 different grays
Yep.
depending on like the concentration and what you're adding to it. It's just
And which base you're using too,
exactly.
because like the three, so like this is superwash. So
Yeah.
all of the superwashes, this is a fingering weight, but like the DK and the
Mhm.
worsted will look the same. But then looking at this is a woolen spun. So
Mhm.
it is superwash, but because of the process, it acts more like a non-superwash.
Mhm.
And like you can see it's definitely more muted and more
Yep.
tonal than this. Like it has less variations. And then the alpaca is like it's different again.
Yes, which is normal. Alpaca will always be
Yeah,
different because of the fuzz and the fluff.
yeah.
So like
But then when you hold them up together, you can tell it's the same colorway. It's
yes,
just the variations based
on the yarn base.
on the fiber, right? So
Absolutely. And it's part of the fun of experimenting
yeah,
and finding your voice too.
yeah,
Because like it's difficult sometimes.
yeah,
So you came up with 5 final color, right?
yes.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the other ones that didn't give you too much trouble?
So the red is one, the other one that came out exactly the way I wanted it the first time, which I was also very surprised about because red is also one that can be really tricky. But
Yes.
I went into it knowing that I wanted a really saturated red. So I used twice as much dye as I normally would use. And I'm like, you know what? If it doesn't all stick, I'll rinse it out. Like I need to make sure that this red like is punchy.
Yes.
And yeah, using twice as much dye worked. Which is awesome. So this is, do you think he's compensating for something?
It's such a quotable movie. Like, I
It's such a
love it.
quotable movie. Like, I think I had a list of 15 different quotes
And
to
that's
work
just
off of.
from the first movie, right?
Yeah, just the first movie. Yeah, we're not even going into the other Shrek movies yet.
Hey, maybe it's a 2026 project,
Yeah,
2027,
you never know.
2028.
Yeah,
So much colors that can be done.
so much. So much.
Oh, I'm just
And then the
visualizing the
last
fairy
one,
godmother, and I'm just like, oh, that would be a very beautiful, variegated one.
which I,
The fairy godmother would be very pretty.
the purple hair.
And the
I
blue
know.
of the dress,
Yeah,
would be so
gorgeous.
pretty.
Yeah.
Like I already have an idea, and it's like, oh, maybe I'm just going to jump on her boat again.
Yeah. There's space.
Why not? Yes. Oh, speaking of space, carry on with your beautiful
The
orange.
last one, Bachelorette number 3. So this is Fiona. And I had a hard time coming up with exactly what color I wanted to do for Fiona. Um,
Because you don't want to do a green necessarily.
yeah, exactly. Like we already had an ogre green, and she kind of lives in two worlds, but her hair is the thing that stays the same throughout both. And I wanted to experiment with that. And this one took a few trials, I think 3 or 4 to get it right. And I love this like auburn, redheaded, copper. Like yeah, I'm really, really happy with this one. I love it a
It
lot.
looks very nice.
And I like how well it pairs with Shrek too,
Much
right?
made
You
in
kind of get
heaven.
like the couples go together.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted to make sure like these are all such different characters, but with a yarn collection, you kind of also want to make sure that they work together as well, right?
hmm
So, yeah.
And I'm actually very happy because we work in different provinces, and I feel like I was still able to insert my touch, and it will pair really nicely with your colors. So
Yeah.
I think that's very nice too.
Yeah. I'm excited for when yours actually gets here.
Yes, me too. Because I think I've already okay, so give me 1 second. I'm going to grab my skeins because I will show you what I will be back. Give me 2 seconds. I did not plan this properly. Because just look at, do you know the Muffin Man?
Mhm.
And she's a yes, I'm of course you're a girl dragon. Like they will be so nice together. I'm super excited. So
Mhm.
fun fact, it took me 5 tries for this
Yeah.
color as well. Uh, because, it was difficult. However, onions, augers are like onions. First try.
Look at that. Yeah.
So, for the people that will be interested in purchasing this, we will have, are you doing the pre-order way as well,
Yeah.
Madison? Or, okay.
Yeah.
So, the pre-order will be open from the 1st of February till the 7th.
Mhm.
For the entire week. Turnaround time for both of us will be determined once the collection is closed down and we've tallied all the numbers.
Yeah.
For me, usually I have a 4 to 6 weeks turnaround period for
Yeah.
pre-orders.
That's my
Um,
goal.
yes, and that's your goal as well.
Mhm.
So I have a newsletter. If you want to join my newsletter, I will have both link for myself and for Madison in it. So that way all in one place. On the website, I will also have a link to Madison, so you'll be able to click on there as well. And if you follow on Instagram, I'm pretty sure you also have information on your link tree. I will
Yeah.
have the stuff on my link tree as well. And This is going to be super cool. Like, you
It's
don't
going to be
want to
fun.
miss it out. And
Yeah.
when the episode will be airing, it will be on the 31st of January. So the next day, the collection will be available for pre-order for a week. So please come
Yeah.
and grab a scanner too, because they're so pretty.
Yeah.
Is there anything I didn't ask you that you would like to talk about for the collection, for the pre-order, for your about yourself as
I
a
don't think so.
dyer
I
or
think
whatever?
we covered pretty much everything.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm very personally excited about this collection. I think it's super nice.
Me too. I'm very
So,
excited. Like I decided to do swatches for all of them, and
yes.
secretly I was also excited because that means I have a ball of each of them wound up to make a project for myself because
Oh,
I'm like I
yay!
love all of the colors so much. I want to that's the problem also when you dye yarn is like you want to
Mhm.
just keep everything that you've created.
True. Oh, maybe what's I think is it Jessie May who did the that color block V-neck? I think it's called like sports something, or maybe it's her friend that did it. That would be very cool for the collection. I'm trying to remember because that way you could also use the brushed alpaca because I think it's on a DK weight.
Mm.
So fingering in the brushed alpaca would make your
You make a very good ledge.
yeah. I will find it. I will find the name. Give me 1 second. I will find it. I'm fairly sure I have the name. I have the name on the tip of my tongue. Jessie May. I will find it. What's the name? Ah, yes. So I had it. So the pattern I'm talking about is actually the Northwoods V-neck.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I
Okay.
will
Yeah, I know
put
what
a
pattern.
picture of the Northwood V-neck here somewhere. So it's a DK, so you could be doing the brushed version, and so it's color block, and it would look super pretty.
Mm.
I think
I'll have
so.
to look at it.
Anyways, so I think that would look very nice with your
Yeah.
colors because they're not as variegated as mine, which is
Mhm.
perfectly cool.
The other thing I was thinking is the your color ogres are like onions.
Mhm.
I feel like it would look really good with both the swamp color
Yes,
and the bachelorette color. Like it has
absolutely.
both of these colors in it. And I was thinking the doppio.
Oh, yes.
I'm pretty sure that one is size inclusive. I would have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it is. And
I
like
I
one of
hope so.
them on the Surrey and then two of the fingerings, I think that could look really cool.
It would look so fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh yes, do that, please. I'm thinking about how it will marl together, and it's like, oh, that would be
Hmm.
so nice.
Yes. So many ideas.
Right, so many ideas, so little time.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to thank you so much again for taking the time to do this a little interview with me. Let me join on your Shrek train, and also just thank you in general for being a beautiful human being in the space of the hand-dyed yarn and Canadian dyers. We need to stick together. So
Yes, absolutely.
I just decided that I was co-opting your your stuff, so
Yeah.
might as well help you out a little bit.
Yeah. Works out good.
I think so. I hope so. So.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me. So I will have this interview up on the 31st. And thank you for everyone who's watching at home. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Yes, Zoe. She said that it's time that we finish this.
Yeah, she's ready.
Thank you so much again, and have a beautiful rest of your day with your little ones.
Thanks. You too.
Bye.
Bye.